Nintendo has finally revealed the Switch 2, and we got our first official look at the next system. After years and years of Switch Pro and Switch 2 speculation, we finally have real evidence by Nintendo of what to expect from the console. And in the reveal trailer, we were treated to many things, such as the design of the console with a bigger screen and new kickstand, the new Joy-Cons which are bigger and supposedly have an optical sensor to use them like a mouse, and we even got a look at the next Mario Kart game. Now, while this trailer was incredible, we still don't know a ton about the console. No official specs have been revealed, and we don't know what other things this console might have in store for us, which Nintendo will all reveal in their Switch 2 Nintendo Direct on April 2nd. But what all can we exactly expect from this Direct? What exactly will be shown? Well, I'm here to answer that question today, so yo guys, Crazy Tendo here, and if you guys end up enjoying this video, do consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button, as we're so close to 500 subscribers, so let's see how fast we can get there. And also, if you guys want to join a cool community with a bunch of Nintendo fans like me, check out the Crazy Core Discord server. But with that out of the way, this is what to expect in the Switch 2 Direct, starting off with the most obvious topic, the console specs. And by specs, I literally mean everything about the internals of the console, like how much storage and RAM the console has, how powerful it is, how big the screen is, and if it's LCD or OLED, because we really don't know a single thing about this console's hardware. It's really important that Nintendo tells us about this, as the Switch 2 is set to be a more powerful Switch. By how much though, we don't officially know. While of course everyone is hyped for the Switch 2, it basically has the same design and same main function of being a hybrid console, which of course isn't bad, but Nintendo needs to give gamers an incentive and reason to buy this if they already have a Switch 1. So they need to tell us exactly what is new on this console besides attaching the Joy-Cons differently. There are leaks of the Switch 2 specs, which include an increase in RAM and storage from the original Switch, as well as a screen size of 8 inches, which seems about right. Personally, while I'd love for this to be an OLED screen, sadly I don't think so. Nintendo likes to go back on their screen updates across their console sequels, because they released a version of the Game Boy that had a backlit screen, which the original one didn't have, and in the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, both of those didn't have a backlit screen, till the GBA's upgraded version, the GBA SP. So I can definitely see Nintendo using an LCD screen again in order to make an OLED version a few years down the line, but I do think this screen will be 1080p. Not sure about 4K in docked mode though, we'll just have to wait and see for that one. The last main part of the specs I'm hoping to see is Hall effect joysticks. Now there's absolutely zero evidence about this existing, but with the amount of people that had Joy-Con drift on the first Switch, Nintendo needs to fix this problem. The amount of Joy-Con drifting that's happened with Switch users all over the world in the past 8 years is just absurd, to the point where the term Joy-Con drift is basically a common word that any sort of casual gamer, or really anyone, has heard of at this point. For those of you who don't know, Hall effect joysticks are a type of joystick that uses magnets and sensors to detect movement, instead of relying on physical contact between the parts. Traditional analog sticks work by measuring electrical resistance when you move the stick, but this involves components rubbing against each other, which eventually leads to wear and tear. That's how issues like joystick drift happen, where the stick starts registering movement even though nothing's happening and it's stationary. Hall effect joysticks on the other hand don't have moving parts touching inside. They use magnetic fields and electrical conductors to precisely measure the stick's position and movement. Since there's no friction or physical degradation, they're much more durable and resistant to problems like drift. It's a more advanced and reliable way to design joysticks, perfect for long-term performance, which Nintendo needs for the Switch 2. Or really some other way to combat the joystick drift problem, because it's just too embarrassing for them right now. But new joysticks aren't the only thing I want to see get revealed at this Direct for the Joy-Cons, as we also need to find out what this extra button is for. Many people online have been referring to this as the C button. However, there's absolutely no indication as to what this button does. The button has no design on it, and what kind of video game controller has a blank button? If this was a screenshot button, they won't need to keep it hidden like this. So there's gotta be something more. I've seen a lot of people talking about the fact that it's a C button that says C on it, but that Nintendo removed that from this trailer in order to save it for the presentation. Back when those Switch 2 leaked renders released, I predicted that this button would open a chat menu, as this is something Nintendo should add to the Switch 2. A social menu would make it more easy and fun to have online multiplayer experiences, and you could share your screenshots and clips in your chats with friends. There was a rumor some time ago about a TikTok or Insta Reels type app for the Switch called Vimeo, where you hold the console vertically and scroll through short videos. Do I want this? Absolutely. My brain has already been rotten by short form content, and it would be hilarious, but I don't see this happening at all. It just seems too bizarre. Nintendo already tried a social app thing called Miiverse back on the Wii U, and it was, well, interesting to say the least. So I don't see Vimeo happening, but I do believe that there will be a social menu on the Switch 2, and that's what the C button will be used for. But we don't know what this menu or how any of the Switch 2's UI will look like, and that's the next thing we gotta talk about. I think I speak for most people when I say that the Switch's UI and overall graphical interface was very bare bones and disappointing. If we compare this to what previous Nintendo consoles had, there is a crystal clear difference here. And the fact that we got a whole area in the settings menu just for themes, only to have just basic white and basic black, that's just pure evil. But don't get me started on the eShop, because this is the most dead, dry looking online store I've ever seen. Previous Nintendo eShops were more vibrant and had more charm, which of course was helped by their background music. The Switch eShop theme though, well, there is none. There's no Switch eShop music. So when I say the Switch 2 needs a UI overhaul, I mean it. And I believe Nintendo will do that, and they will show this off in the Nintendo Direct. This console isn't an upgraded Switch. It's not a Switch Pro, it's a Switch 2. It's meant to be a new thing while sticking to the fundamental design and concept of the original thing. Here are some renders I've seen of what people want the Switch 2 menu to look like, and I could totally imagine something like these happening on the Switch 2. The Switch 2 Direct should have a strong focus on the console's home menu and other UI, because that is what will help bring the console to life. But now onto something which Nintendo has already kind of confirmed in the past, but we will need more knowledge about, and that's Switch Online's integration with Switch 2. Nintendo has stated that they want to make the transition over to their next console as smooth as possible, which means Switch Online should be available on the Switch 2. We know from the trailer that Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with digital Switch games, so I'm guessing that includes the multiple retro console apps like NES or SNES Online. I think this is definitely going to be shown off in the Direct, as we need to know how online play will work on the Switch 2 and if there's going to be any big changes to the Switch Online subscriptions during the Switch 2. However, what we absolutely need to see this Direct is the console's release date. I mean, it's quite simple. We don't know when this console will be released right now. In the trailer we got, Nintendo said 2025, but most of us already assumed that anyways because of Nintendo tweeting that the console would be revealed before March 31st, 2025, so we really didn't learn anything new there. I'm predicting a release date of around August or September. To me, this would make the most sense, especially since the Nintendo Switch 2 experience, which will still be happening in June in Asia, so I don't think the console is going to release before that. I just don't see Nintendo launching their big system in July either, because that's just a weird month. So I think it'll be in either August or September. This Direct will definitely give us the release date though. If there's one thing from this video I would say is 100% going to be in the Direct, it's the release date. Now onto the last few things, which I don't know if they will be shown or not. All we know about this Direct is that it's for the Switch 2, but I don't know if this includes the games or not. I'm just gonna assume it does because we need to see some more games on this. The game that we're most likely gonna see in this Direct is the next Mario Kart game that was shown in the first trailer. We can see in the trailer that this is a new game based on this never before seen track, the fact that there are 24 racers, and also the new designs of the characters and carts, which make them look like a mix between Mario Wonder's art style and plastic toys. We also can't forget about this new DK though. Whatever they call this game, be it Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart X, we're 100% going to see this in the Switch 2 Direct. It's been over a decade since Mario Kart 8 released on the Wii U, and while its Switch port is way better and is definitely the best Mario Kart game of all time, we still haven't gotten a proper brand new Mario Kart game in over a decade. So these few seconds of footage we saw is the first new Mario Kart footage since 2014, which is honestly just crazy. I don't want to talk too much about that and what I want to expect in this game, because I want to make a full video about that later on, but this game will definitely be in the Direct. We're gonna get a lot more features shown off, additional characters, since with 24 racers, you do need more characters to add more diversity of racers in the game, and of course, we're probably gonna see the game's new gimmick and show us fans how this game will be better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because Nintendo really set the bar high for themselves there. I don't think this Mario Kart game will be the launch title for the Switch 2, but maybe it'll release a month or so after. What I do think will be the launch title, and will also be shown in this Direct though, is Metroid Prime 4. Similar to how Breath of the Wild was a cross-platform release between the Wii U and the Switch, I believe that Prime 4 will be similar to that and release on both the Switch and the Switch 2. A lot of people, including me, are thinking that Prime 4 will be the Switch 2's launch title, due to the fact that this game would be a perfect way to showcase the Switch 2's upgraded graphics and hardware, and that the reason that this game was in development hell for so long was so that it could be optimized for the Switch 2, which also reportedly had a ton of internal delays for its release date. We know that Prime 4 is releasing for the Switch sometime this year, with Nintendo showing us an official trailer for the game 5 years after we last heard about the project being restarted, back in 2019. But a game that massive isn't going to release on a console at the end of its life, unless it also releases on the next console. For a while, Metroid was kind of a dead series, and we were basically getting no new Metroid games. But on the Switch, we got the first 2D Metroid since the GBA in the form of Metroid Dread in 2021, and in 2023, Nintendo released a remaster of the original Metroid Prime from the the GameCube, so newer fans have already gotten a taste of this series on the Switch before. To be completely honest, while Metroid Prime 4 is a game many people are looking forward to, I don't see it as a big system seller for the casuals. But since the Switch 2's hook and incentive to buy it seems to be upgraded performance, this would be a great way to demonstrate it, and if this is the Switch 2's launch title, then we will definitely get a better look at it in the Switch 2 Direct. There's one last game I think we could potentially get a look at, and that's the next 3D Mario game. Mario has always been and always will be the big system seller for Nintendo. The reason why people are going to buy the new console, because Mario is the face of Nintendo as a whole. Now you might think that it's very unlikely we get a Mario Kart as well as a new 3D Mario and the Switch 2 Direct, but you have to remember, it's been over 7 years since Super Mario Odyssey released, and about 8 years by the time this next 3D Mario will probably release. It's also the 40th anniversary of Super Mario this year, so that along with the fact that we are getting a new console basically means we have to be getting a ton of Mario content this year. I don't think this 3D Mario game will be Odyssey 2, even though I want that game so bad, I just don't see it happening at this point. So I think that this will be the big open 3D world Mario game everyone's been talking about since Bowser's Fury released back in 2021. Bowser's Fury gave us a taste of what an open world Mario game could look like, but on a smaller scale. There was just one big map, Lake Lapcat, that had lots of smaller little platforming sections where you could get the game's main collectibles, cat shines. I made a video on this a long time ago, nearly 3 years ago, and while this video is pretty low quality, a lot of the points I made there I still agree with, so if you guys are interested, I'll link it in the top right corner. But yeah, with this year being Mario's 40th anniversary as well as the release of the Switch 2, we are for sure getting a brand new 3D Mario, which I'm guessing will release around October. But if you guys have any other games you think will be shown in the Direct or other things that are likely to get revealed, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, I have a video on screen right now where I go over the best Mario level in every game, so be sure to check that out and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. But with that out of the way, yo guys, Crazy Tendo here, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.